Does any of this sound familiar? Why does my neck hurt all the time? Believe it or not, I used to be flexible. All I wanted to do was sit on the toilet, and instead I blew out my back. I've heard all those, and then some. Let me tell you why. 3 things are ruining your life: work, play, and sleep. It's coming up. Work, play, and sleep. If you're lucky, all 3 of those. It's fantastic and enjoyable. And for many of you, that's 2 of the things you love: play and sleep. So how is it that all 3 of those things can be ruining my life? Well, simply put, the aches, the pains, the feelings of aging, that all comes from improper posture. And the 3 things I'm going to be talking about, work, play, and sleep, can all impact your posture and therefore impact your quality of life. Let's start with number 1, work. Work for many means long hours sitting in a desk job, or driving a truck, or standing at you name it. These type of repetitive activities are very contradictory to what our normal body mechanics should do, which is walking. Walking in an upright posture was what we were made for, and it exercises our muscles in the right way. For the back of our body, we've got endurance muscles that are mostly posture corrective muscles. But when we're sitting all the time, or when we're slumping and standing too long and not getting to move with proper mobility, we're not exercising those muscles properly. Our work, in essence, prevents us from getting the proper exercise that we need to maintain proper endurance for our muscles. And by muscles, I'm not just talking about the abs and the biceps. I'm talking about muscles deep within your body, such as something that nobody really talks about, like the multifidus or the transverse abdominis. Those are 2 extremely important muscles to maintain proper posture, and nobody ever really thinks about exercising them. Oh, and by muscles, I also don't just mean muscles that help hold you up. Did you know your diaphragm is an internal muscle that's also important for your posture? And vice versa, your posture is important for your diaphragm. For those of you who don't know, the diaphragm is extremely important for breathing. In order to contract, it allows you to breathe. And many of us in the slouch forward posture that we have, we don't breathe properly because our diaphragm is smashed and it doesn't allow for proper movement. And for some types of postures, it can pinch your nerves, even leading to tinnitus, vertigo, and massive headaches. Those are just a few examples of how your work might be impacting your life in more ways than you think. Moving on to number 2, your play. Now by play, I mean active hobbies as well as lounging. As you can imagine, lounging puts us into a slouch position, or a couch potato position, whichever one. And being in that lounging position, for example, can really weaken the back muscles because we're definitely not walking. So the muscles critical for our stability are not getting activated at all. So then what about those active hobbies you just mentioned? That's also play. I like my cycling. I like my rock climbing. I like my horseback riding. Well, one problem is that when we do those hobbies, which I'm not saying not to do, be physically active, but when we focus on that one type of hobby, sometimes we're putting ourselves in those repetitive motions that can cause lower back problems. For example, cycling, if you don't perform the right stretches afterwards and you don't strengthen other muscle groups, you can force your body into repetitive patterns that can lead to bad posture and can lead to problems. Same goes for rock climbing, same goes for horseback riding. You're doing the same thing over and over and over and it's your favorite thing, but you're never supplementing your body in the right way with the right exercises, stretch, and strengthening. So that's briefly how your play might be affecting your life. Let's move on to the last point. Number 3, sleeping. Sleeping's supposed to be good for you. You should definitely be getting about 6 to 10 hours of sleep a night, and almost nobody does. Not only is sleep so important for your longevity, it's important for your organ restoration and your cellular regeneration. So why is it that you're telling me that my sleeping is ruining my life? Not getting enough of it? Well, yes, you're not getting enough sleep, but it's how you sleep that could be the problem. We love our pillows. We stack them, sometimes 3 at a time, and that props us up, forcing us into, yet again, the position that we take when we're lounging on the couch for many of us. This can flatten a necessary curve for our back called the kyphotic curve or the upper back curve. And in flattening that back curve, you are sleeping with a bowling ball, which is your head, that can't naturally press down. and extend open your chest. So you're just crumpled forward yet again all night for however long you do sleep. Same thing goes for those of you who lie on your stomach. You might have a bed that's a little bit too squishy and you're sinking too far in, putting a lot of stress on your lower spine when you're sinking forward. There's many different ways that your sleep can affect your posture, primarily because you're doing it for hours on end, hopefully. So to sum things up, for the 3 reasons of why your work, your play, and your sleep might be affecting your life, whatever you do repetitively, your body remembers and your body adapts to. That's a general term called general adaptation syndrome, but also specific adaptation to impose demand. In other words, whatever we do to our bodies is going to react and going to say, okay, I'll transform for you. And if we're doing things in our work, our play, or our sleep that are not going to support the proper adaptations for our bodies, we can end up with aches, pains, miserable life, and lack of flexibility, among other things. And by miserable life, I do mean anxiety and depression, because your mood can be impacted by your posture, and it can also be impacted by lack of oxygen from not breathing properly. And that's just another reason why you shouldn't slouch. So if you want to have less complaints about your blown out neck, your blown out back, or any other things that you blown out. So if you want to learn more information about how you might be able to fix your neck problems, your headaches, your blown out back, or even your lack of flexibility, I've got a video that outlines the 6 most common types of posture issues, what they might be causing, and how you might correct them. Go ahead and check it out if you're interested. Also, if you're curious to know what type of muscle imbalance or posture issue you do have, go ahead and go to my website. It's a personal training app that will guide you through every step of the way in understanding your muscle imbalances and giving you a custom program on how to fix it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.